Hello everybody and welcome to Game 3 of BK versus Feedrunners. I am Just Delicious and this is Vague.
Hello, sorry for my slight absence in the second game. Hello, and welcome to the final game. Obviously, we are 1-for-1. Feedrunners winning the first game with a fantastic choice of Weaver on the offlane, a little bit of a modernistic approach to his normal hard carry role, and it went so well in their favour. He got amazingly fed, and that is how we've ended up with Feedrunners winning the first game. Meanwhile, in the second half, we had BK. Obviously, the standard ban's going on at the moment, I should say. Undying, great for counter pushing, and he's just been got rid of Magnus. That ulti ridiculous. But we had BK winning the last game by pretty much just out carrying. The counter picking there has been done. Outward Destroyer was the most unexpected pick for a hard lane, and actually greatly managed to counter Razor.
Yeah, we were really wondering what would happen with that Outward Destroyer. We really didn't know what was going to happen with the laning, and they decided to run him on the safe lane on his own against Bounty Hunter, and he did really well against him. He actually got a lot more farm than we were expecting, and that ended up turning around this game. But now we're going to be looking at this one. The last game of the best of three. It is currently 1-1, and we're going to see Nyx Assassin, who for the first time gets through. He gets through the bans, and he is going to be first pick, which lets BK pick up Bounty Hunter and maybe the favourite Darkseer, who is also a first pickable hero at the moment, and we see a lot of getting first picks. So Nyx Assassin being picked at first. They decided to ban the Templar instead, and they gave them Nyx. They obviously don't like the Templar more, so it'll be really interesting to see how Nyx Assassin does.
Well, if you looked at last game, the problem there was Outward Destroyer was on the hard lane. He should have been ganked like crazy, and if they had Nyx Assassin, someone like that would have just put him in his place, and it seems like they've done that now to try and possibly stop them from picking someone so drastic, stops them from picking up any intelligence carries for obvious reasons without having a huge disadvantage, and it just gives Feedrunners a bit more of a chance over BK.
And of course, it does completely lock out Keeper of the Light. Keeper of the Light is so unbelievably bad against Nyx Assassin that there's almost no point in running him, and that almost means completely that Feedrunners can pick that Keeper of the Light if they wanted to, because they have absolutely no fear that BK are going to pick him, because that would be a little bit of an error, I feel. That spiky carapace is really good. And there's the Keeper of the Light that I said that they were probably going to pick up now that they have the Nyx. And now they're just going to be looking for their mid heroes and off laners. So we may even see that we have the Bounty Hunter pick already. So we may even see someone like a Windrunner come out to try and do okay against that Bounty Hunter. She's not bad. She can spam with the power shot, and that's all. That's about all she's got. But no one else has anything better.
Reserve time.
Yeah, well, Keeper of the Light and Jakiro both picked by each team. Their most contested hit. Sven,
there we go.
One of the hardest carries, and definitely the one they've got their trialing already sorted right there, unless this goes mid, which I doubt will happen.
And would you believe it, this is the first time in the actual competitive part of the tournament we have seen a Sven be picked up. The teams just don't like him as a carry that are playing in this tournament, even though he is one of the hardest carries in the game. I don't think they have any experience with him or playing against him, so he's just gone straight through the pool pretty much every time. But this time we are going to see that monster of a Sven, and maybe they're going to be looking for an Enigma to try and help him, because obviously Enigma and Sven is just completely ridiculous.
Well, they do have the one problem with the picked Sven. He can be quite easily countered by a Slardar, with that his strength being able to pop in and having so much armor. However, it's still almost impossible when he gets farmed. But if you get a Slardar, if BK get a Slardar in, they might be able to counter him. It will also counter the Nyx Assassin, because if they can pop an R on him all the time, they can just keep that Nyx under control, which could be a good point for them to choose now, although I don't know if they pick up. I've not seen a we've not seen a Slardar being picked in this tournament so far, I believe. But Sven, it's so good to see. Obviously, one of the strongest carries in the game. Why we haven't seen him is beyond me, but we have a trial, and it should be fantastic to see what they're going to try and do against him.
Yeah, almost certainly. And this Sven pick, I mean, one of the there's only really one or two carries you can pick against a Sven that's actually any good. Gyrocopter being one of them. Gyrocopter is a moderate counter for a Sven as a carry, and also on top of that, as you mentioned, the Slardar, but the Slardar has probably a little less reach against a Sven than a Gyrocopter. Gyrocopter obviously being an amazing carry if he gets a little bit farmed, so We'll have to see how they decide to run it. They're actually going to pick up a Shadow Demon instead, so they really want to get their supports down. And Shadow Demon, quite good against Sven, especially at the beginning of the game. If you can actually make copies of Sven while he has his God Strength up, they can do a lot of damage. So there's a good reason why you'd pick Shadow Demon. He's obviously also just an exceptionally strong support hero, and they really want to lock him out early and not give him away to Kingslayer. What am I talking about? To feed runners.
Well, it's a fantastic choice. Obviously, now they've got a way. They've got a fully disabling lane. It'd be interesting if they choose another carry that has some disable. They could just completely lock out this Sven, and all of them are ranged. If they find another ranged disable cable, you never know. Could see a Drow. Anybody could possibly take out this Sven.
Well, it is a possibility. Drow probably is. Well, Drow's okay.
Not likely, no.
She's not particularly strong against Keeper of the Light. I mean, like, she doesn't have a very large HP pool in her. She's particularly weak, but she's still a good hero. I don't think you can actually pick Drow yet. I don't think she's been reintroduced into tournament play. I think they're still trying to fix her.
No, she hasn't.
Okay, they're still trying to fix her, so we're not going to see a Drow, unfortunately.
And they need to, my goodness. But I would expect to see someone, maybe like a Faceless Void. We have got this amazing amount of disable. You combine all of that with the Weaver ban, of course, of the last time, and Kunkka. Great damage there from afar, but someone like a Faceless Void would be a great choice of carry. Obviously one of the strongest carries in the game, much like Sven. And with all of that disable at bottom, it would be amazing to try and see them escape it.
Yeah, and he's obviously pretty good against Sven if you can catch him in the chrono, because Sven needs to be up close and personal in everybody's face to be useful. I mean, it'd be worth using a chrono in a team fight just to get rid of the Sven while it's like a 4v4 going on between the other heroes, because they really are relying on Sven for damage when it gets to mid and late game at the moment. Obviously, Keeper of the Light becomes very, very ineffective late game, and Nyx Assassin, if he can get farmed and get that Dagon, he can also do a lot of damage, but if you're playing him in the sort of supportish role, then it's highly unlikely that we're going to see him be doing a lot of damage, and they're going to use him more for his mana drain.
Invoker, a very pick that we haven't actually seen yet in this tournament, have we? We have maybe.
I think we saw him in the last game, I believe. He went up in mid, and I believe Coco ran him, and He did as well as he could, but the Invoker, if they pick up a TA, but TA is actually banned out of the pool, as we can see. So Invoker was actually a really, really good choice. He's still probably the strongest mid-hero in the game, especially with the bans that have taken place. And now we have to look at what mid-heroes are even left in the pool for BK to go for, because there really aren't very many that are particularly strong.
Reserve time.
Well, unfortunately, the only one that's left is kind of Pudge, and he's not that good against Invoker. Invoker being able to always just kind of focus a little bit in quads and get back that damage. We have Lone Druid, somebody who's always banned or just not considered, but the first time you can see him around, very, very strong. You can hide him in the jungle, teams seem to forget about him, and then he comes out of nowhere with so many items on his bear that just traps away, and that will be great for trying to trap down that Dragonaut.
Yeah, but it seems they're probably going to be running him on the off lane, on solo off lane in this game, because he is a particularly good solo off laner with the bear. He almost acts as two heroes, so he can hold himself. And it looks like they're just going to be running the Nyx Keeper and Sven probably on the hard lane, with Lone Druid maybe on the safe lane, just to give him a little more survivability with the Invoker in mid. But it's really going to be useful to see what BK do. And I was actually going to mention the Juggernaut earlier as a counter to the Sven, because if you play the Juggernaut right and you get him a Diffusal Blade, you can cancel the War Cry or the God Strength just by purging the Sven, and it also gives an incredible slow. So we may see the Juggernaut pick up a Diffusal Blade, and we're going to see Puck up against Invoker in mid.
Two of my absolute favourite heroes to see and play. It's going to be fantastic to see exactly. Obviously, Puck has a silence, he's able to cut him down, but Cold Snap is something that's very strong. Puck obviously is able to avoid that. It's quite a good counter when you think of it, because his phase shift could be able to avoid it and just move away. And now everybody's disconnected.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a rethink, because someone wasn't in the game originally, I do not believe. So we're going to have a remake of that game. So I'm just going to quickly flick over on the cast, and then we can get to that.
Okay.
Okay, it's right. Basically, that happened because as you saw, BK had actually gifted one of their players as a stand-in two feed runners in that game because they only had 4 players for the third one, but they've just found a fifth. So we've done the picks, and now all the teams are going to come back in, and we are going to have a 5-on-5 with 5 feed runners versus 5 from BK. So that'll make it a little bit more fair. We don't want a 5-on-4 in effect. So really nice picks actually coming out from both teams. I'm interested to see this Puck versus Invoker in mid. I mean, Puck has a lot of damage that she can throw onto the Invoker, and Invoker's probably going to have to get into Wex just because of that burst damage that Puck can throw his way. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see how they run it. I'm definitely interested to see how they run it. So hopefully you guys all are. I can imagine that overall, I would probably say at the moment, BK probably have the slighter weaker team, just because of the Sven versus Juggernaut. As I did say, the Diffusal Blade can be picked up by Juggernaut, but again, it's such a difficult thing to come up against a Sven, especially as a carry, because he doesn't even need his God Strength. Obviously, his God Strength is incredibly powerful and it does a lot of damage, but he doesn't absolutely need it to be effective. So we'll have to see how this Nyx Assassin plays out, because he's banned all the time, and he's finally been picked, and we're going to see if he is actually worth the pick that he has actually managed to get. So the game is now loading, and we will be flicking back over to that in a minute, and you will no longer have to see this, which is good for you guys. And we are flicking over now, and I believe Vague may have probably joined the game already, and he will be able to join me in talking.
I have indeed, and my goodness, is this or is this not the...
Team back.
It does actually look like we've gone straight into Captain's mode, so they're just going to ban random heroes and pick up exactly who they were. So I wasn't paying attention when I remade the lobby, wanted to do it as quick as possible, and accidentally put it into Captain's mode. I do apologise.
Team pick.
Nyx Assassin. Bounty Hunter.
Puck.
But the teams know exactly who they've picked, and they know exactly who's going where and what's going to happen, so this shouldn't take very long.
Dire team pick.
As you can see, just random bans coming out. So what do you think, Vega? I was talking we talked very slightly about this Puck versus Invoker in the mid, and you kind of have to feel that Invoker has to go quads just because of the amount of burst damage that Puck can throw onto him. What do you think he's going to do about it?
I think Puck has the advantage there. I'm so happy to see this combo because I've been waiting to see this kind of fight for such a long time in mid. But Puck has the advantage here. As long as he goes quads, he might be able to handle it. But the way to play Invoker when you're quads is to try and get kills early game. He's going to try and get a little bit of damage out on Puck, and he's not going to be able to, because anytime he's trying to throw that cold snap on, Puck just has to phase shift and move away, and he's going to be able to do that provided it's played properly.
Yeah,
which I doubt we're not going to see.
It's a very good point. We will see a really interesting match in mid, and we will have to give the advantage to Puck at the moment, but we will see. We will see what happens. Both of these teams are obviously very good, and all the players are very good, so they're going to play it. They're going to play it right. They're going to know these matchups, and I'm just going to run over the Radiant, and then I'm going to hand it over to Veg to do the Dire. So we are looking at the name that I cannot pronounce will be on Puck. 3L will be on Puck. We will have Fractal on the Juggernaut. We will have Tarator, the stand-in, I believe, will be playing the Shadow Demon. Foxy will be on the Jakiro, and Ha 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 will be taking up the Bounty Hunter.
Meanwhile, on the Dire, we have Q-Fest as Sven with some gorgeous items there. We have Rose as Nyx Assassin, I believe that is the stand-in. We have Limon, Keeper of the Light again. Invoker is being played by Kingslayer, the Templar Assassin of last game, and SFY is being played by Lone Druid again. It seems like the standard offlane.
Yeah, it does seem like they're just going to be putting that Lone Druid on their safe lane, as I predicted they probably would, and be running this tri-lane on the hard lane, because they do have a ridiculously strong tri-lane, and they know that they can afford to give the Lone Druid as much farm as possible early on. And it's going to be pretty interesting to see, but you can actually see that BK have actually come prepared for this, and this is interesting, but they're actually running their hard lane with their tri-lane on the hard lane as well to counter the Lone Druid. They knew it was coming, and then they're running the Bounty Hunter on the safe lane against the tri-lane. So both teams have switched it up. Feedrunners switched it up to try and give advantage to their lone druid, and BK switched it up because they knew that they were going to do this, and now all of a sudden, Feedrunners do not have the advantage that they had at the beginning, especially during the picks.
Well, we've seen some amazing counter planning by every single team. It's just not stopped. We've had so many tri lanes more on the hard lane than on the easy lanes. It's mad. But great to see, because you end up with these kind of teams constantly porting everywhere. It's a bit chaotic, but so wonderful to watch.
Yeah, and it looks like we are actually taking a little bit of a toilet break. It seems like Fractal has laid down the law, number ones only, just to try and speed it along a little bit.
We'll keep it professional.
Yeah. We don't want it taking too long, but yeah, this is going to be very, very interesting. It looks like... Okay, it looks like we can be unpaused now, Veg, if you want to do the unpausing for us.
I shall indeed. And my unpause is doing nothing. Why? Apparently I have no power to unpause.
Apparently we have one more actually going to the toilet, so... Apparently we can't unpause, this is very odd. Okay, I can't unpause apparently. Nope, no unpause is coming from me. We can't unpause. You guys go. You guys try. How very odd that we don't have the power to unpause in this game. I would have thought. There we go. We do see the unpause, and we're off. So Bounty Hunter actually managed to unpause it. It's very, very odd that we don't have the power to do that as broadcasters, but I suppose that kind of makes sense. They don't want broadcasters unpausing it every 2 minutes.
Yeah, that's very, very true.
Okay, as we said, we are going to have to look at what's going to happen. Are we going to see the teleport scrolls immediately bought from the people on this from feedrunners on this off lane just to swap it around again? Because Lone Druid versus Bounty Hunter is obviously a very good matchup for the Lone Druid, and they were really banking on that sort of matchup to come up, because this Lone Druid is going to get absolutely nothing against this ridiculous tri lane of a Juggernaut, a Juggernaut, a Chikiro, and a Shadow Demon. So now the Lone Druid knows what's going on. He's backed off. The bear's doing all the work for him. And as you can see, this bear is so ridiculously tanky with one stout shield.
Yeah, he's going to have absolutely no trouble, I think. And if we already look at the last hits, he is struggling a little bit, but he's already got 2 last hits. You know, he's not doing badly. He's keeping up with everyone else. Of course, it's only a minute into the game, so we can't say anything yet. But SFY just able to stand back, let this ridiculously tanky bear do the work.
Yeah, the bear's going to be doing all the work for him in this game, and he's going to be trying to get as many last hits off that bear as possible, but he's doing a really, really good job at the moment, staying with everyone else, especially seeing that he's solo against a tri lane. And they're actually teleporting more up now, so they do want to protect him, and they are actually going to do the switch like I predicted. They are just going to buy the TP scrolls and try and get straight down there. Nyx already has his, and the Lone Druid might just go and buy his like straight away. Qfest is already out of mana, so he was obviously just doing a little bit of harassing on that bottom lane with the Storm Hammer to try and get as much harass as possible. And look at Puck against Kingslayer. Look at Puck in mid. He's doing so much damage, especially now that he's picked up the double damage and he already has his bottle. And he dodges the Sunstrike superbly. Really, really nice play by that Puck to dodge the Sunstrike. He knew it was coming, and he is doing so well against Kingslayer in mid.
Well, it's absolutely fantastic. As I said, he's going to have the advantage. Here
he goes. He's going for first blood.
He's going to get it. There's no way Kingslayer is going to get this, and he has absolutely got first blood. Puck has the advantage, as I thought he would.
And especially with a double damage rune, I mean, the amount of damage he was doing to that Invoker, and Invoker was only level 3, so he probably didn't, he didn't have the Ghost Walk up, so he couldn't just spam into that. He obviously went Exort because he was using that Sunstrike. And that's what we were talking about. You kind of need to go quads if you're going up against the Puck in mid as an Invoker, because the amount of burst damage that he's going to do.
Just going to have to put you back up to top. We have 3L who's been caught out slightly. It's great play there. Just looked like he was going to port, didn't quite do it. Phase shifted instead, came back around. Puck has been stunned by Sven's Q though. We have Juggernaut who's going to catch God's Rules, and Shadow Demon actually gets the last hit there with a prod. Sven just keeps back as Puck just went up there. He went for a bottle start and it's already gone greatly into his favour. He's got total rune control, and he's never stopped regenerating health and mana thanks to the bottle being always full.
Yeah, and really nice play by Ha 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 as well, teleporting up to this lane and supporting that kill. And now we're going to see BK's tri-lane go back down to bottom to try and keep ahead of this lone druid once again. This lone druid, they don't want to give him anything, and it's basically just a back and forth sort of play at the moment. Looking at the last hits, we can see the lone druid is marginally ahead of the Juggernaut, but that's not going to matter because Juggernaut does actually have an assist, so he will have a little bit more gold because of that. So it's really interesting because both teams are just swapping it up. One team really likes the tri-lane against the tri-lane, and the other team really doesn't, and they're both swapping it as much as they can to try and get it into their favour. But neither team are letting up on it.
And it's great to see because all you're seeing is this mad rush of who can port the fastest back to their preferred lane.
Yeah,
obviously at the moment we have this traditional setup. We have Juggernaut just running straight in and out. They're not doing that badly, but Lone Druid on the off lane, he is doing fantastically well. 13 last hits and 6 denies. Only kind of being just slightly, only person slightly lower behind him. Kingslayer Invoker is doing really well with the pros, but it looks like Puck is not doing as well with 6, but he's doing so great on the ganking and the fighting. Puck has filled up another bottle with Illusion Rune. He might try and go for Kingslayer. Again, this Puck is playing so aggressively. He's put an Illusion down there. It looks like he's going to try and confuse Kingslayer, and he most definitely is, but Kingslayer instantly knows it's an illusion because it has such low health. Then Puck goes straight up to Invoker. He tries to counter it. A bit of a risky Q, but he doesn't quite go for it because it was a little bit out there, just a little bit too under tower, but he does go under the tower. Cold Snap has been put on him. This could go badly. He has phase shifted as I predicted he would to escape from the Cold Snap, but he's so low on health. Why didn't he escape? He has to D now and he manages it. Puck is the perfect counter to an Invoker here.
Yeah, really, really nice play by Puck, and there's a little bit of back and forth going on. But we did say that this Invoker is going to be having a better time of it as this game goes on, and he is actually having a much better time now than he was earlier, seeing a 17 and 8 to Puck's 6 and 2. So he's already completely worked against the fact that he's the deficit of the death versus the kill with that Puck. So it's going to be interesting to see who decides to take over this lane in mid. I mean, Puck will need a little bit of help now to try and deal with the Invoker. You saw how much damage the Cold Snap was doing. Now that he's actually started to go into quads, he's really damaging this Puck quite heavily.
Well, exactly. If all he needs now is one extra point in Wex, and this Invoker will have the ability to just pop an Alacrity, use Cold Snap, and knock this Puck's health down. Phase Shift will not be able to counter against that when he has that extra attack speed. However, so he will try and bring in some help, and I imagine just somebody who has some extra disable, maybe Disruptor, who is now also disconnected. I think poor BK having some connection issues here.
Yeah, they will be back soon. They will. It's. I don't think either of those are the stand-in. No, they're most certainly not. Well, actually, the Shadow Demon was being played by the stand-in in this game, but the BK will be back, and they will be back pretty soon, and then we continue with this game. But we're going to just talk a little bit about these lanes, and you can see this Sven. He's only sitting on 13 and 1. He only has boots. Nyx Assassin and Keeper of the Light are just hanging back, doing their supporting roles as best they can, which they're doing a really, really good job of. I mean, they're not really letting this Bounty Hunter get too much. He's sitting at 4 and 1, so he's got absolutely nothing. He's now run out of regen, has nothing but a poor man's shield on him. So Sven, as he gets more and more last hits, is going to start taking over this game. They really need to start shutting him down early. I mean, Lone Druid is okay against Sven, but he's not a particularly good counter. And if Sven gets a little bit more farm than he's getting, if he can catch up with the Lone Druid a little bit more, then he's going to be the biggest threat in the game by an absolute mile, I imagine.
Oh, definitely, but again, my favourite thing, if we look down at bottom, just to go before we go back to mid, because of my love for it, we have the Shadow Demon, the tri-lane going really well. Shadow Demon has quite a lot of money, but he's just got branches and tangos. He's got focusing on the most supporting role he possibly can, but this Lone Druid is doing really well. He's stacked up 1,100 gold already. He's got the highest amount of last hits and he's on the off lane. And if it's anything like the last few games, the off lane will be the most important thing to see. So it's just fantastic. Stout shield only on the Spirit Bear for the moment, but I expect he's going to throw something expensive and ludicrous maybe on there very shortly. Maybe a Vanguard.
Well, the amount of money he's saving up kind of suspects that he's probably just going to go straight for a Radiance and bung it straight on that bear. There's absolutely no reason why you can't do that. If he can save up enough money without dying to get that Sacred Relic, that bear can really start doing a tremendous amount of damage. And obviously, Radiance is just one of the key items for a lone druid. It's just so powerful, especially on a tanky bear, and especially if you can get it as early as possible. We do see the lone druid. As said, just saving up his money as much as possible, and so is his Juggernaut to an extent. He could just go and get his boots now, but I don't think he wants to. He wants to save up and try and make his phase boots all at once. And yeah, we are going to head over to mid now because Vague really does like this Puck versus Invoker sort of matchup that's going on.
Oh, well, just look at it. It's been so fantastic from the very beginning. We've had Invoker kind of foolishly specking into Exalt. You know, he's had some really close sunstrikes, but Puck has that ability to just avoid everything. It just every single time he's done that, Puck's Qs have been fantastic. His illusory orb's just able to avoid every single little hit, and he's just running rings around Kingslayer. That's the only way to say it. Going for that bottle start, he's now got boots. He's just going for as much maneuverability as possible, and against an Invoker, that's exactly what you want to do. The guy just wants to stand there. He wants to be able to catch you out with his Sunstrike, and then he wants to prod you down. If you manage to avoid that, you're just creating confusion for him, and confusion for somebody who's got so many spells at once is not something you really any Invoker wants. So Puck doing a great job here, and great play from 3L.
Yeah, indeed, really nice play in the middle from Puck, although, as you would expect, the Invoker is starting to take over this mid lane now. We are still having connection issues, and Ha has actually said that maybe they can't even come back at all. Maybe they're maybe they've just completely gone with this disconnect, with such bad connection issues. I hope that isn't the case. I really want to see this game continue because it's really interesting to see what's actually going to happen. I mean, we haven't even seen a Sven yet in this tournament, and if it gets cut off short, it's I'm gonna be a sad caster.
Yeah, as am I. I mean, I'm in love with this at the moment. I'd be so gutted if this is cut off so shortly. But, and also, we just alerted to the possibility maybe the lone druid is actually just saving up for a hand of Midas, trying to get as much farm as possible. Although obviously in these tournament games we've seen so many carries just going straight for the Radiance. I would be interested to see which one is he going to try and go for. Well, one has come back, so hopefully we're going to have the other person come back too. Everybody's going to reconnect, and we're going to see this beautiful game continue. For every hope in my body, please let this happen.
I can't see a reason why one would leave and not have an option to come back, especially if they ever could. We'll have to see. Maybe he's in a different place. Maybe his internet's just completely gone down, power cut as such. Be a little bit unlucky that they both went at the same time, but hopefully we are going to see Juggernaut back. Fractal, who has actually played in both the other games, so I can't see why he wouldn't want to come back and just get a little bit of practice in. Hopefully he'll come back, and hopefully we'll just be able to continue with this game after that. But as we said, this lone druid, he could go for a Midas. It's probably slightly... He's getting a lot of farm, so maybe he thinks he can afford to, even against a tri-lane. It might be a bit of a risky tactic against a tri-lane just to go straight for a Midas, but we'll see what he decides to do.
Indeed, it might be a little bit risky, but it also just guarantees him a little bit of money, I guess, and that is what the lone druid wants. Obviously, he can put this up, but eventually these people are going to start. These tri-laners are going to be able to start quickly disposing of his bear if he's not careful, and I think that's where Hannah Minus might come in handy. Although then there's the arguments for Radiance again. If they can put the Radiance on there, it's going to be a long time before they can just idly stand right next to it, as they're. You know, the Radiance has a very good range. It's going to be difficult for them to just get rid of that. So I think you're probably more right on the Radiance than Michael on the Hand of Midas.
Yeah, no problem with Hand of Midas. It really doesn't add anything. Okay, we are going to be having this game. They are both coming back. And yeah, the Hand of Midas really doesn't add anything to this lone druid. It adds a little bit of attack speed, but that's really about it. And if you're trying to come up against an aggressive tri-lane like this, you really just can't. You can't afford to miss out on the amount of damage that you can get just by buying a pure item. I mean, Hand of Midas is obviously very good, but it doesn't become cost effective until the late game when you've used it several times and managed to make back the money that you've actually spent into it.
That is true, most definitely. Now we just have this agonizing wait for this Juggernaut who is coming. Yep. Thank goodness we get to see the rest of this game. We get to see exactly what's going to happen. There's a Sven. I mean, why? Why have we not seen a Sven for the rest of for this tournament?
I don't know. It's really interesting. Maybe we'll find out in this game why no one wants to play Sven. Maybe the Sven will feed. Maybe we'll have a 0-10 Sven, and then everyone will be like, "Ah, see, this is why we don't play Sven." And then we'll have to feel bad. We'll have to feel bad if that happens.
We will. We'll publicly apologise for ever recommending him, but I have a feeling he's going to do fantastically well. At least I hope that, just so that I don't have to publicly apologise now.
Yeah, this is true. I do have a feeling that Sven is going to be doing well, though. If he can get an armlet or a BKB first, he might just go for a BKB because of the amount of disable this other team has. If he can get them very, very quickly, as we see a lot of scribbles coming out on the map. If he can get
only the most intelligible stuff coming from both teams.
There we go. The Juggernaut is back, and we are going to be going very, very, very shortly. As soon as the Juggernaut is back into the game, I might have to actually just shout out and say not to draw on the map anymore because we will be needing to use the minimap to look at what's happening.
I think we'll be alright. I don't think they're going to keep doing it anymore.
Okay. Okay, we are going to be going very, very shortly as soon as it decides to hit the unpause button, and then we are going to... Right, here we go. We're back in the game. We're going to see what's going to happen, especially with this lone druid. It's going to be very, very interesting to see which way he actually decides to go in this game, whether he decides to go for the Midas or whether he decides to go a little bit more safe and play for an actual damage item and maybe start getting some kills and affecting the game a little bit more.
And that's for now, the two teams just going for some basic last hits. There's no real counters going on. I think I'm hearing slight problems from JD's mic. I don't know if everything's alright with him. I hope it is, but there's really nothing to report at the moment. They have this Sven.
I'm sorry, was my mic messing up a little bit there?
It was, just slightly.
Sorry, I didn't notice anything. I didn't hear anything coming from my end.
Meanwhile, at top, I have to point out BK, ha ha ha. Bounty Hunter is invis. They put down a sentry ward just to find him, and they managed to get him. Keep it the light prod, just escaping him on time. I'm very sorry for almost missing that, but we did kind of catch up with it. And Invoker, he's missing those sunstrikes. Is it something to be concerned about, do you reckon, JD? Not a single sunstrike landed yet. All a little bit over presumptuous.
I think it's safe to say that if Bounty Hunter hadn't died then, I think he was going to take a Sunstrike directly to the face. It looked pretty dead on, so I think it was just that Bounty Hunter died before he actually got to the before he carried on walking and got to the place where the Sunstrike was going to hit. So I don't think we're seeing too many.
No, that's fair. It looks like BK, if I'm just going to have to direct you to mid, BK is invis. He's about to attack on this Kinsley. He has started. Puck is right there. He's got his Q. Elizriob is coming. And there's no need to say anything else. He just put the ultimate on. There was no escaping. Bounty Hunter uses prods, and it's instantly killing Kingslayer.
Yeah, especially seeing that Kingslayer hasn't actually got any in Wex yet for this Ghost Walk, so he's not particularly survivable if they want to just dive him and try and get a kill as early as possible. And we can see that the lone druid picked up an orb of venom on this bear just in case he wants to get a little bit of harassment in. So he spent a little bit of money on that. I doubt he's going to go. I seriously doubt he's going to go for a Midas now that he's picked up an orb of venom for that slow, because that would seem like a little bit of a waste if he's not actually going to use it to do any sort of damage.
That I'm going to have to completely agree with you with. We've already had big feed runners doing a very aggressive start, just trying to push down this top tower, already getting it almost at half health. That's fantastic, but meanwhile we have BK not really doing any pushing of any sort yet. Yeah,
they're much more of a late game pushing team. This feed runners. I mean, they've got the Illuminate, but apart from that, they really do have to rely on the Lone Druid and the Sven. When Lone Druid and Sven get farmed, they can push lanes so ridiculously fast with Radiances and with the cleave from Sven. So late game Feedrunners are going to be pushing a lot harder, especially on all the lanes. And at the moment, they just want to get Sven farmed up a little bit, get him a little bit more. He's picked up his power treads now. So
Radiant's middle tower
Just going to have to point you back to mid again. BK, ha ha ha. Haha, and Puck about to do the same thing. Is he going to go for it? No, they didn't. I'm very sorry to think that. I was assuming they were going to go, but they didn't.
no, they are going to go for it. Actually, looks like they are. Here comes the bounty
Now
hunter.
they
He's
are.
going to get the proc hit. There we go. And Kingslayer is going to die pretty easy. He doesn't have Wex, so he's going to fall. The Sunstrike gets shown though, and a ha 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 actually gets caught out because of the Sunstrike. Really, really nice play by Invoker, managing to pull that Sunstrike off before he died. And the Nyx Assassin doing a fantastic job. But now on the back of it, Keeper of the Light getting harassed down quite heavily by Puck, having to back off. Really, really nice play by Rules and Invoker to get the kill on the Bounty Hunter after the Invoker had actually died. So they actually managed to turn it around a little bit.
Just look at the level advantage of Puck here. If you look at the hero levels, Puck and Bounty Hunter at the very top, and look how much damage he's able to do with the Illusory Orb. Nyx Assassin and Keeper of the Light both quite low, so he's just managed to take them down to half health with one single Q, and with only a cooldown of 12 seconds, he's got Arcane Boots. He does have a bottle, he doesn't have any runes to fill it with yet, so he's probably just trying to wait for those.
Yeah.
But he has a definite advantage over these guys. But the problem is Invoker's been left to free farm a little bit now, and he's still not got a point in Wex. He's probably going to do it in his level 8. And look, if we look down in the bottom jungle, Lemon has been caught out now. Shadow Demon, Chikiro, and Juggernaut, that very aggressive lane, has managed to kill him. Meanwhile, we have Kingslayer, Sven, and Lone Druid all at bottom. It looks like it's going to be Tri-Lane versus Tri-Lane. No, not the original ones.
No, I think they're actually just deciding to go for some kills.
Shadow Demon.
They've put up a really, really aggressive lane.
Sven has Juggernaut. Is he going to stop him? No, he isn't. Shakira Ice Path successfully so that they can escape. It doesn't look like they're going to stop him. They had a cold snap on the Jakiro, a perfect Sunstrike. Is he going to stop him? Yes, he is. Juggernaut ultis to try and take down Kingslinger, but it's not enough.
They're actually diving straight under the tower.
Still at base. It looks like they're not going to be able to escape. He's so low health. Lone Druid, his bear does have entangling claws. Will they be able to catch him? Yes, they will. Absolutely no problem. Fractal has been caught out of line now. He's really stuck. They've pushed so far. Is he going to be able to escape? He's got nothing in order to save him. But he just managed to avoid that illuminate. Is he going to survive this? No, Fractal is completely gone. And now JJ Foxy risking it to be here. It's too risky. Kingslayer coming in. The ganking that should have been happening a long time ago is now finally in. He's still level 9 and he's not got a single point in his Wex. Ha ha ha, going to die. Is he going to have anything to escape? He's not got any money. He does escape on just 10 health. Kingslayer throwing those hits, but he's prods, but he's not got a single point in W. He's such a slow hero.
Watch this
even with space
Sunstrike.
boots.
Watch this Sunstrike. I can imagine a Sunstrike's going to be proc directly onto the base. Maybe it's going to try and take out Ha Ha Ha. I don't think he's actually going to go for it, which...
It is still up, but he's
but
going to lose his health
gonna
now
die.
as everybody's been caught out.
On the back of
Q-Fest
that.
on really low health. There's no way he can help out here.
Yeah, BK getting a
Puck,
little bit of return
no.
for what they managed to get against them, and Puck coming up against this Keeper of the Light is gonna actually do a pretty good job. The Entangling Claws is gonna keep them safe though, and the Entangling Claws actually manages to get the kill. Juggernaut on the back of it looks like he's gonna pick off SFY if he's got the move speed. He doesn't have the move speed,
Just misses.
and he just fails to get the kill.
Look at that! In just a minute, everything has exploded. We have all of Feedrunners very low health, but just staying together, staying in this group. I mean, with BK splitting up, it looks like they're just going to go back for farm now. Juggernaut farming in the jungle. Absolutely brilliant play by both teams.
Yeah, Feedrunners really did have the best of that engagement though. They managed to pick off at least 3 or 4 heroes just while they were running away trying to protect each other, and it really didn't go well for them. They managed to get a kill afterwards because of that Invoker, and then a little bit of sloppy play from BK let the Invoker get a kill or two on that Puck and Shadow Demon. So that was a little bit of misplay from them, but
And now
Foxy's
it's
also
directed
going
to
to
the bottom
die.
jungle. Lone Druid, he spent his money. Tranquil Boots and Phase Boots for the Spirit Bear.
So
It
he's
looks
just
like
gone-
he was just saving up for a Mad Boot rush.
Yeah, and now he's actually going to come straight to the jungle, and he's going to easily take out Fractal if they decide to go on it. He's going to take out Ha 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 instead. The Juggernaut ulti gets popped. It doesn't do any damage. Puck comes in, uses the ultimate. Gods comes in, gets silenced straight away. Really, really nice play by the Puck to get the silence. But it looks like Gods is going to quite easily get away from this. Shadow Demon keeps him locked down. God has to run away. He has to run away. He's stuck in by his own illusions coming off the Shadow Fiend. Really, really, really nice play by Shadow Fiend.
Shadow
Really
Demon, that
unlucky
is,
for
but-
Gods. He just couldn't move.
Yeah, that Shadow Demon, absolutely fantastic play, just straight into disruption, keep him in that corner and just turn him down. That was not fair for the poor Nyx Assassin. But now Puck has gone back to mid. He looks like he's going to be trading blows with an Invoker. He's gone for an illusory orb, but it misses, so he's not going to be starting on that. Meanwhile, he phase shifts and then just moves straight out of the way because he has the time. It looks like these two are just going to be trading blows once more.
Yeah, it's
Meanwhile,
pretty...
we have Keeper of the Light illuminating and Territor at the bottom, not quite knowing what to do. He's just standing way out of the way to not let anything damage come in, but they have Lone Druid. The bear is on the run. He has phase boots. He's got to charge onto the tower. He's got it. Entangling Claws has got onto Territor. We have the things. Disruption has been thrown on Territor by himself. He's got the illusions. He might escape, but he's made it obvious where he is. He's just escaping. Fractal was fighting them away, but he is fragile. He doesn't do that much damage to them. The Spirit Bear has Entangling Claws. It lands. Fractal is going to die now for him. He probably should have let the Shadow Demon die, considering he is the carry. And Invoker's getting the kill and Puck, something I'm sad to miss, but Lone Druid manages to get the kill and Juggernaut down at bottom.
Yeah, while you were commentating what was happening at bottom, I decided to flick over to mid because there was a fight that lasted the entire time. It was a pretty insane fight actually. Everybody was getting away on no HP and walking back and coming back in, so I was kind of focused on that while you were focused on the middle, so I think we got the best of both worlds there.
I hope so.
Or the worst of both worlds. You never know. It's
Yeah,
one or
that's
the other.
very, very possible.
Look at the amount of
Look
damage
at
the
that
Illuminator's doing.
damage.
Yeah, it's doing so much damage to Foxy's from under the tower, and it looks like they can just dive straight under it now. They can put up another Illuminate. There it is. They know it's coming because he's tracked, so they're all just stepping aside. Puck has the ulti. Maybe she's going to pop it. She doesn't look like she wants to go in. Although if she does decide to go in, she could easily get a kill. Lone Druid round the back is going to get spotted, but they're not going to do anything about it. Puck is just going to continue under this tower, and Puck looks like she's going to die now. There's no way Puck's going to get away from this. Surely, yes, she does. Does get away from it pretty well, and now we actually look at the Lone Druid just getting double kills and now going for ha ha ha, deciding to back away. Puck stuck in the trees, using the illusionary orb to maybe try and get out. Nope, staying there. She's stuck right in the trees. They know where she is. There's no way Puck's going to be able to escape this. Surely, the illusionary orb's going to be coming, but it's not enough damage, and the Nyx stun picks her off.
Unfortunately, she just slightly misjudged how far that illusory orb could reach, just managing to get it, but unfortunately it does reach just to a point where you can't ethereal jaunt anymore, which is just where she wanted to go, so that didn't quite go in his poor Puck's favour.
Yeah, that was quite
Meanwhile,
unfortunate, but now we actually see them just diving
himself
Foxy.
in bad. Sven is about to just kill him. Look at that damage. There's no way in the world that Kingslayer does actually manage to get the last hit, but there's no way in the world is going to be survived. Ha ha ha, has been taken down and damaged by Keeper of the Light. He's still following them. He's trying to get something off on them, but he manages to stay back. And this is a good idea. If he gets caught out, there's no chance, and Ezreal win the game. Yeah, those Qs are ridiculous.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say so far each team that's had Ezreal has won. I believe is that the case? I believe that's the case.
No, every single time this Lemon has picked Keeper of the Light, and he did obviously lose the first one, but you never know, this game is not over yet, not by a long shot. They still have a chance. They still have more than enough chances to get down. The person who's given the most kills away is the Jakiro, who's not to 5, who's really given away the lead, and he's a support. You know, that's not the worst thing to ever happen. Meanwhile, at top we have Puck. Is he going to escape it? They're just trying to all harass the Lone Druid. There's 3 here. Jakiro misses his Ice Path. SFY is so tanky, he might be able to escape this. Ha 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 is here as well. He's got everything up. The Q is, he has his Q, but Kingslayer comes out. He's going to be able to keep this away, and SFY manages to survive.
That is a ridiculous
Territor is quite out of line. He's not going to be able to survive this, or is he? Ice Path hits the Q Fest, but it doesn't stop anyone else. Ha ha ha, Invis very, very low on health there, and the Keeper of the Light. Ezreal wins the game. Shadow Demon takes down Territor. And Nyx Assassin manages to capture the Fakira. The poor Puck again caught by Nyx Assassin as well. That evil Nyx Assassin. Bounty hasn't managed to pick up the Invoker just slightly. But is he going to escape? He's not. He's running forwards. He's just going to outrun that Illuminate. But great play here by Feedrunners.
Yeah, it was a really, really nice engagement for them. That's the kind of thing that they needed. Especially seeing that SFY, he was so tanky that he could just walk away from 3 heroes, all battering down on him using stuns and disables and everything. And that gave the rest of his team enough time to get down and do what they needed to do. And then they turned it around quite comfortably.
Well, there's absolutely no doubt. A Lone Druid in true form is just ridiculously tanky. If we look at his armor there, it's 8+9. He's got plenty. There's no way that he's going to really have any problem with this.
Yeah, and he's only
He's
sitting
got
on...
Tranquil Boots, so he just pops that.
He's only sitting on Tranquil Boots and a wand, and you can see how difficult he is to bring down. And if he gets any resemblance of items, he's going to be...
He's just got enough of Sacred Relic.
Yep, he's going to be going and getting his Relic now.
And double damage just been discovered by him. He doesn't actually go for it, surprisingly. There's a double damage just sitting there.
No,
I know FDR have spotted it.
Yeah, I don't think they want to risk going for it, because Ha could be hanging around just to pick it up at the last second and then maybe get a kill or two. But they're going to pick off this Puck quite easily. Puck getting caught out again by rules on the Phantom, on the Nyx Assassin, and now they're going to go onto Tarator. Gets caught out of position yet again. All the supports getting harassed down so easily, and so much damage coming off of Cold Snap. There's just almost nothing they can do, and we said the Cold Snap was going to be really important in this game, and it really is one of the deciding factors at the moment. That stun is almost a perma-stun for 3 or 4 seconds. On a support hero, it's easily enough time to bring them down.
And now we have a Sven with the double damage, which combined with God's Strength means we have one hero that can take out the entire team with a good Storm Hammer.
Yeah.
So I do fear for BK here.
That's 400% extra damage if he pops that God Strength. I apologise.
And God, I hope he does, because I can't wait to see a one-hit kill.
It's only 200%.
Oh.
He pretty much has a full level of God's Strength right now, but the double damage is about to pop, and they're just going to do nothing about it. They catch Ha though. They pop the sentry down, and he falls. Puck throws in the orb, but nothing's going to come of it because, well, there's 4 of them hanging around. There's no way Puck's going to want to go into there. We do actually see this Invoker speccing more into quads now than he was at the start, because he was really going just for heavy exort build, but now that he's had the chance, he has put one in Wex, and he has got more in quads than he had at the start. He really needed more at the start in quads. It would have given him such an easy time against Puck in lane. He has managed to get farmed up anyway, but it's still a point to make.
Well, Puck did a really good job of countering early game, but yeah, Invoker is a great carry, especially when you factor this into X, and he's just gone quads now for great survivability, which obviously you need someone with great survivability when where it goes what? Sorry, I've just gone completely lost. This Juggernaut just attacks. I am lost. Somebody save me here. BK Bounty Hunter's about to get killed by Nyx Assassin, who just managed to survive. We've had Nyx Assassin manages to take off Jakiro with his ultimate, and then Q goes into perfect timing phase shift by Puck, but Sven kills the Shadow Demon. That was a mad amount of detail to happen at once.
Yeah, and the Sven damage was absolutely ridiculous. Puck looks like she's going to get caught out. They do have the stun, but none of them are going to dive for it. They're actually just going to go for Factal instead. Looks like they're going to quite easily get him. One right click will do it. Q-Fest actually starts to turn the other way, and the really nice ice path from Jakiro catches all of them. And Jakiro is going to try and take one out at a time, but doesn't have the damage. Doesn't get an attack off before the stun comes in from Sven, and they get yet another kill. The buyback comes straight out from Invoker. He knows exactly what he wants to do. He's going to try and land those really nice Sunstrikes. And I mean, Foxy's not on a lot of HP. Foxy gets taken down. Sven still trying to run away from this Juggernaut. Juggernaut gets one last right click, finishes him off. But look at SFY. He's just stood in the base. He absolutely needs nothing. And now he gets recalled back to the Keeper of the Light. Gets the ultra kill with the bear with the Radiance. Recalls the bear. And that's absolutely ridiculous that you can get an ultra kill in the enemy's base as a lone druid after 22 minutes, or on pretty much no farm. He has nothing but a Radiance and boots.
Well, if we look at net worth, maybe there is a reason we don't choose, people don't pick Sven, because they don't need it when they have this lone druid. I mean, look at him. Ultra kill, Radiance on the lone druid. It's just like Phantom Lancer, but ridiculously tanky.
Yeah, that is a really good point. He's slightly less survivable when it comes down to comes down to it than a Phantom Lance. But look at Foxy. Foxy's going to get caught out horribly by Kingslayer and the Keeper of the Light. And the Cold Snap is enough to finish him off. They didn't need anything else. Just right clicks and a Cold Snap. And he got caught out pretty
Meanwhile, at
horribly
bottom
there.
we have Rose. God's Fractal is trying to escape this Nyx Assassin who has run out of everything now. I'm sorry to redirect you. This Juggernaut has just managed to escape as Nyx Assassin could do nothing. He's gone far too into a supportive role. But everyone has gone down here. BK, just trying to track this Keeper of the Light and doing a great job of it. Staying invisible, keeping a track. But now Keeper of the Light giving away the position of both SFY and God's Rule. So great advantage there. And now QFS, so great advantage there by Bounty Hunter's track.
Yeah, they know where they all are. They know that they're all hanging around, and they know that the Nyx Assassin just pulled off to the back, maybe to pop his ulti to try and get a little bit of a sneak stun. The Keeper of the Light, I think, is hanging around, so they can't see them all off of the track, and it's now run out.
Radiant's top tower
They really
is
just want
under
to push
attack.
down this tower now. They know they have enough to do it. I mean, Sven has his BKB up now, so he is ridiculously tanky, as well as the Lone Druid, who is even more tanky. And the Radiance on this bear, just hanging around on top of the cliff, is going to be doing so much damage, and they just don't have anything to take him out with.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
It's absolutely mad. Again, the Quas Exort comes in handy. Obviously, what he was trying to aim for, those Forged Spirits are so strong once you get to four in both. And he's just going to be able to push down now. We also have a Lone Druid who can just take, Lone Druid's bear can take this tower, he can tank it while the whole team goes on it.
Yeah, and they're just going straight
But
for the
it looks
dive.
like they were
Really,
just
really
gonna try
nice
and tower
tornado.
dive.
Nice tornado by Invoker, actually catches two, and Foxy's going to drop really easily, and so's the puck after the Sven pops the stun. The Nyx Assassin actually takes the kill. It doesn't really matter in the end. They're going on ha. They don't have anything to see in those, so they're going to back off. And the Juggernaut actually manages to get a kill on the Sven using the ulti. A little bit unlucky for the Sven. He did 3 jumps to the Sven before he went on to anyone else, even though everyone else was in range. And the Keeper of the Light's just holding everyone off so that they can take these racks. And BK look like they're in a little bit of trouble right now. They need to try and get out and get a few kills back on them, or this Lone Druid's just going to be walk straight into mid and maybe take another tower or two.
Well, the Lone Druid has absolutely every capability to do so. It looks like now if JJ Foxy tried to start it up with a nice path, a foolish mistake is just dead in seconds from Tornado and all the prods everywhere. Tarator has been mana leaked. He's probably going to get stunned. Does he survive? He just manages to escape into the tower, but they're going to base dive. Is he going to base dive? No. Keeper of the Lights Illuminate, trying to do extra damage and shut. Invoker uses his insanely powerful Deafening Blast just to get the final hit on that Tarator and kill him. And Keeper of the Light, little mean, spamming Illuminate in the base.
Yeah, they're just trying to hold them off while they absolutely destroy everything that's left in this base. Now they're moving over to mid like they should be, trying to take that tower. They're already pretty much at the tower in mid, so as long as Rules can hold them off long enough, and it looks like Rules is doing a really, really good job of it actually. He's got no escape mechanism at the moment, but they just can't kill them. They can't kill anybody on this team. Nyx Assassin, with that Necronomicon, is just doing so much damage to them. And now Kingslayer comes in, uses the combo, gets the kill on the Jakiro, sorry, and then gets the double kill on the Shadow Demon, and now goes for the puck. Keeper of the Light's going to fall. Gods with the stun actually catches two. Kingslayer just hanging around. Kingslayer's got so much HP regen, he can do whatever he wants, and his damage is absolutely disgusting. He's tracked though, so if he tries to Ghost Walk, nothing's going to come of it. He knows he's tracked, so Gods throws out the stun, catches them both. Really nice play, and they both back off. And now we look back in mid, this Lone Druid just destroying these creeps, just trying to push down this tower, do as much as he can.
I'm just going to have to put you straight back down because you just missed a great bit of action. BK, just try to throw. They've just got a Gem of True Sight there. But BK, try to get the Nyx Assassin. A great spike carapace just at the right time, stopped it, but it wasn't enough. Juggernaut comes in out of nowhere. Ultimate, and it's just not. They just weren't able to stop it. Both kills got by the Juggernaut there from his ultimate, which just does so much damage once he reaches this level.
Yeah, and we saw Kingslayer buy back immediately so he can come and help push this mid with this Keeper of the Light, because they really want to take out this next tower. Now they have the Lone Druid up here as well, so they have the tank ability to just stand up on the top of the tower and do whatever they want. Lone Druid just went straight for the dive. He's going to take out BK with the Radiance Burn, and now he's 5v1 on this Lone Druid. Now the rest come to help. The combo from Invoker again works brilliantly. It does so much damage to everyone. SFY is just tanking so hard. There's no way they can bring him down. And now Juggernaut falls just to the pure damage as they all try and kill this lone druid. They absolutely have nothing to deal with him. Invoker goes right around the back, looks to try and pick up Puck. Puck gets stunned and Puck's going to die as well. Invoker gets the double kill as Sven just beats on this tower.
Radiant's middle tower.
And the GGs have been called, and who can blame them? They've taken down. Midvax is about to go. Absolutely brilliant play, but again, it's madness. This whole day, whoever wins the offlane is the people who win the game, it seems, is the rule. And SFY doing a fantastic job. Assault, Curious, Radiance, all he ever needs. This bear is so tanky, and so is he in bear form.
Yeah, it's pretty good to see that no matter what offlane, no matter who's on the offlane, if they win, they seem to win the game because of it. Because the offlane is just so important at the moment. You just can't give it away. And Bounty Hunter just could not do anything against a lone druid. They tried to swap it around. They tried to get the lone druid locked down. They knew they had to. They knew they couldn't afford him to get any farm. But the TPing everywhere, and they just couldn't keep him down for long enough. And he ended up being the deciding factor in this game, I think.
Indeed, he did. And JJ Foxy just going to die now. These guys, feed runners, are doing so fantastically well here. There's just nothing that can stop. If you look at the net worth now, just SFY's net worth, 16,000. The highest, second highest is Fractal at 10,000. It's miles off. There's no way that they could have caught up here.
Yeah,
it was a fantastic effort from BK.
You have to say that
both game, I honestly thought.
Yeah, you have to say that both these teams have played exceptionally well, because the BK obviously the first semi-finalists to be to put through, and this sort of performance they've showed, especially in the second game, there's absolutely no reason why they can't go on to win this, even though they have lost this best of 3 against feed runners. It was only a friendly, so as long as they play like they did in that second game twice. Against feed runners, maybe if they meet them up in the final, then there's no reason why they can't go on to win. They've both played exceptionally well. I'm really looking forward to feed runners game tomorrow against BGPF to see who out of those two get to go to the semi-final. But I tell you what, feed runners look on really, really good form.
I do feel sorry for BGPF. I haven't actually seen one of their games so far, but I do believe feed runners looking extremely good on form. If you look at their coordination, it's just top notch, and they're fantastic with their counter picking. I mean, they did manage to get caught out, and they did learn their lesson after the second game.
Yeah, they really did know what they were doing today with their picks. They picked perfectly, pretty in the first and second game. The first and third game, sorry, the second game went a little bit odd for them. They got slightly outpicked, but they really did pick well when it mattered.
SFY just standing there as if he's AFK. He might actually be. He's just not doing anything now. Turned around, seen, oh, these people are attacking me, and just completely destroys the bounty hunter. Meanwhile, we have Sven with God's strength, who just turns around and says, "Hey, I want to get the kill too." They're taking it down. The base is all gone. All of BK have disconnected.
Yeah, yeah, this was a really interesting game, especially seeing that it was just a friendly, but both teams really wanted to win really hard. They both went for it in all games. We saw so much action in all of the games that it may as well have been the final.
Well, I was most excited about Puck and Invoker, you know that, but Puck, he did so well. I felt so bad. BK did so fantastically compared to the Puck with the whole thing. Unfortunately, it was just all down to this lone druid. He was able to get so much farm. Then Puck started ganking. He did a really good job, but it's just it left Invoker to free farm. And Invoker is a great carry, especially when connecting to Exort. If you let him free farm, he's going to get insanely high damage. And they have a Sven, who also managed to get really nice farm. So what can you do?
Yeah,
against that kind of lineup.
The problem with having that lone druid on the off lane and the Sven on the safe lane is that they need to gank both, and you just don't have the time to gank both. If you go to gank one, the other one gets a lot of free farm, and by the time you go down to gank him, he's already more fed. And we saw that with the lone